It never fails. Whenever I have to go live, some news story breaks. It's so frustrating. I'm sorry to keep you waiting 10 minutes. Like literally before it was supposed to go live, and I'm putting together my notes for today's stream, I get the note. I mean, you guys send me the new photos of Ms. Marvel, and so. But I was like, I'm not canceling today's stream because we didn't have a stream yesterday, and so I really wanted to make sure that we had one today. So we're going to do a stream, and then afterwards, I shall cover those photos. There's supposed to be some more photos that might come out. Maybe they'll come out in the next 30 minutes or so. That would certainly make my life easier. I don't know why these things they can't all come out at once. Why would anybody would wait all day to leak set photos is ridiculous. All right, so anyway, thank you so much for joining me. We have 3 pretty interesting stories actually to talk about today. And then, of course, as always, you can ask me anything you would like the final 10 minutes of the stream. All right, so thank you so much. It's so nice to see everybody. Again, I'm trying to get these streams back up to their normal schedule, and I think it's going pretty good. I'm really glad I was able to have a stream today. The Wonder Woman news dropping last night was whenever anything drops late at night, it like totally messes up my schedule the next day because, the news, thanks to you guys, as I talked about, I was the first to tweet about it. Thanks to you guys, the first big blue check to do it. But I was up until, like 10 o'clock was when I was able to start my evening after making the video. And I'm happy. I love doing it. But, I'm just trying to explain to you why. And I couldn't wait till the morning on that story. It was too big. I was going to wait when it was a maybe, but then when they confirmed it, I was like, I got to cover it right now. Whip out the old laptop. So anyway, I did have dinner, Madeline, but I ended up eating at about 10:30 at night. So, and then I had to get ready. I had to clean up around my house in the middle. It was like the worst time for that news to break for me personally, quite frankly. But whatever. And it's weird. Hollywood news, just to explain it to you, trailers drop on East Coast time. So trailers drop at around 9 a.m., as you can see from today. But entertainment news goes by the West Coast schedule. So Hollywood headlines can go as late as 7, 8 o'clock. So that makes my day really long in terms of potential news stories. It goes from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And even if I lived in Los Angeles, I'd have to get up at 5 a.m. to be ready for trailers at 6 a.m. So it's just, it's interesting side of the business in terms of how it doesn't follow a particular timetable. You did get to see Glasses Grace, Terry. You did get to see Glasses Grace. I had my glasses on. All right, so, and I thought today would be a light day, but now, and I don't know if this Lady Gaga story is true. It seems that it is. Let's see. Lady Gaga has signed on for a small role in the Brad Pitt Bullet Train movie. I haven't seen any of the major trades pick it up. Collider broke the story, apparently. And no one else has picked it up yet. It's a small, tiny role. So that would be a pretty big story. I don't know if I'd make a video about that, though. I think that would be like, I would certainly pay, I think they would blow up the trailer, but I don't know if I would make like a video for that specifically. Because, it's like Lady Gaga's in Bullet Train, and there's not even like a picture or anything. But it would be very good for Bullet Train. It would be a big deal for Bullet Train. Doggomania, it's not trending because I think only one thing, it would be a streaming story, Daniel, but it's not confirmed. And also, I'd already locked in my stream when the story broke. It's so frustrating. Let me see. Let's see. Yeah, Gaga Daily has picked it up, but nobody else has picked it up. So I don't know if it's true or not. No big trades have confirmed. And if it doesn't come from my sources, you got to be really careful. Well, stories can come from all different places today. But in terms of my covering it, unless I've got it from my own source, I don't feel comfortable saying it's happening unless I see it in one of the major trades. Karsten, I don't think the Bullet Train, maybe I can do a Bullet Train. I don't know. I don't know if Bullet Train is big enough, I mean, when these movies start coming online in terms of their trailers, then it would be a very big deal. But I don't really know if people are searching for Bullet Train because it's not a hot property before it was adapted. That's kind of like a fine line. It's, I'll tell you something else. YouTube doesn't like you to put up more than 3 videos a day, and that includes a stream. So I try to do my videos around that because, it won't send out notifications after 3 videos. So it's hard to kind of to balance that out, just so you have an idea of how things work, basically. All right, so let's get to the 3 stories of the day, and then you can ask me anything that you would like. All right. Story number 1. Boop. All right, so Paramount is trying to get Transformers back off the ground. They tried to do it with Bumblebee, and it didn't really work out. The movie was very highly regarded. Fans liked it, but it didn't do particularly well at the box office. And no one's ever been like, where's Bumblebee 2? So it was okay, but I think, it helped the careers of everyone who was involved, but I don't really feel like it helped the franchise, interestingly. So they're going to try again, and they have a new script, and they're narrowing their list of directors. This is another story where they say that Stephen Caple Jr., the director of Creed 2, is the top choice of Paramount, but they have not made a deal. So he's who they would like, apparently, but talks are just starting, and they haven't closed a deal. So he's tentatively going to direct the next Transformers movie. Now, I thought Creed 2 was pretty good. It didn't have the electricity of the first Creed, where you were like, Ryan Coogler's going places, and going places he did. Thank goodness Ava DuVernay left Black Panther over creative differences. I still feel it's one of the biggest missed opportunities in the history of Hollywood, but Ryan Coogler really made the most of that opportunity that befell him as a result. So I thought that the first Creed was a little bit better directed, but Creed 2 was well directed. It didn't make me say, who's directing this? But, there's a picture of him with Michael B. Jordan. And now the question is, is Transformers going to do a change in who's the lead character, the lead human character, right? There hasn't been a lot of diversity in the Transformers movies, quite frankly. It was a different time, just about 10 years ago, different time. Barbie Minaj just pointed out, could we have a black lead? I don't know, it could be a lead, it could be a co-lead, it could be a strong supporting. It really, it's a new interesting question going forward. Does the director have to match the lead in terms of something? I think it was a really big step forward that Nia DaCosta got the Captain Marvel 2 gig, and while she's a female director, she's doing a movie with a white female lead. I think that directors of color want to be able to get any job, not just a movie where they match the lead actor. I think that that's important sometimes. But I think, it's an interesting question. Antoine Fuqua has found, of course, a tremendous amount of success doing both. He's done all different types of movies. But Antoine Fuqua, for some reason, never really clicked as a director. He never really made it to the upper tier. So I don't believe Michael Bay is involved, Lloyd Lester. So I'm curious to see how the rest of the movie takes shape, I guess. That's, to me, what's really going to be interesting next, to see who they're going to cast, what the story is, and then I think we'll get a better idea of what's going on here in this decision. So anyway, that's the first story of the day. It's a lighter day in terms of stories, but certainly very interesting ones. So second story of the day, boop. Now this one to me is quite interesting. Hey Grazer, thanks for joining. Anyone who joins during a live stream gets a shout out in real time. All right, so Pink Panther is coming back, but not the way that you would expect. So, oh no, I covered up Pink Panther with the red box. Sorry, Pink Panther. But anyway, Sonic the Hedgehog, of course, did better than anyone ever thought that it would, and in some ways brought back the video game movie. But it's not bringing back another video game franchise. Instead, they're going to do another Pink Panther film. But they've decided to wed the live-action Inspector Clouseau movies with the Pink Panther animated series. Nobody asked for that, but they're like, hey, everyone loved seeing Sonic. What if we made an Inspector Clouseau movie where the animated Pink Panther was a part of the action? So Jeff Fowler, who directed Sonic the Hedgehog, will be the director. And then Chris Banner, who co-wrote Bad Boys for Life, will be doing the writing. What an odd choice. What an interesting choice. Now, my question is, what's the tone of the film? Because Inspector Clouseau movies tend to skew older, but I feel an animated Pink Panther would skew younger. Then the other question is who's the cast? Who's going to be the new Inspector Clouseau after Peter Sellers and Steve Martin? Now, interestingly, I think Jim Carrey really hit in the Sonic movie. I told you in my review when I went to see it. Mika, you already said you were ahead of me. Mika, I'm trying to lead people here carefully, and Mika's like, Jim Carrey as Inspector Clouseau? I think that's probably what is a very good chance could happen. Because when I watched the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, I couldn't believe the adult audience's reaction to Jim Carrey. And of course, Jim Fowler now has a relationship with him. So I have to say, I think that Jim Carrey as Inspector Clouseau talking to a big pink panther, who, by the way, they said sometimes people won't be able to see, so it's a little bit like Jimmy Stewart and Harvey. So, the play turned movie about a man, a grown man and his adult rabbit imaginary best friend, and the question is he imaginary? I think Jim Carrey could do a really good job with this. In fact, Jim Carrey is the only person who I think would maybe do a good job. I'm sure someone else could, but I didn't really like the idea until I thought of Jim Carrey, as Mika did, and it's so clear that I think it's a good idea, and maybe they thought of it as well. I really like it, and suddenly I'm like, oh, you know what? Maybe this could work. I think Jim Carrey coming back as Inspector Clouseau could do quite well. Would you guys watch this movie? Would you see this movie in theaters? Would you see Jim Carrey as Inspector Clouseau with a animated pal? Oh, some no's. Interesting. Oh, look at these no's. Not in theaters, says Roy. Oh, that will happen. Also agreed with streaming. Oh, a lot of streaming. Well, Paramount, this is MGM. MGM's working so hard to try and get back in the movie business. I don't know if they would be willing to do a streaming movie, unless someone would buy it for hundreds of millions of dollars, as they said with Bond. But a Jim Carrey stream, Jim Carrey should be the Pink Panther, quite frankly. Maybe he could play both. It would be hilarious. All right, so that's the second story of the day. Now, the third story of the day is quite interesting. Boop! I was going to maybe save it for Movie Math on Sunday, but then I came up with a different angle for Movie Math on Sunday, and I'm pretty excited about it. So today, the last boop, baby. Yep, that's right. Final boop of the day. Boop, baby. So, Wonder Woman 1984, of course, will now hit theaters and HBO Max the same day. And movie theaters just need to stay alive. So Cinemark, after having just made a deal with Universal similar to AMC's with the 17 or 30-day window, depending on where the movie opens, now Cinemark has said, we're not only going to make a deal with Universal, but we're going to make a deal with Netflix. Because remember, before, movie theaters would not play Netflix movies because Netflix has a 30-day window to see the film. And, that's not going to be the case with the Christmas Chronicles 2. This will be another simultaneous release. But now that streaming is becoming a major player thanks to the pandemic and the release strategy for major studios, now Cinemark is saying, well, why were we so mean to Netflix? Maybe Netflix should be friends. So they're going to test this. The Christmas Chronicles 2 will be available in some cities at Cinemark theaters. I don't know if Cinemark is in New York City, Mika, but it doesn't matter because New York City theaters can't be open anyway. So you'll be able to see Christmas Chronicles 2 at Cinemark theaters, and we'll see how it goes. I think it looks like for at least the next 6 months, you're not going to have movie theaters really that are doing boffo business. So I think this is a clever idea. And there are some movies, like a lot of the recent awards contenders, that Netflix has had a streaming window of about 2 weeks they've been doing, 2 to 3 weeks. So I think maybe they could do that with theaters. And, like, for instance, Mank is playing in a couple of theaters right now, but what if it could play at all the Cinemark theaters? I think that would be not a bad idea. Netflix certainly has the quality. Their films certainly seem like theatrical releases, and they did just raise their prices. So as people have to pick and choose what streaming service they're going to go to, maybe having these movies available in theaters and on the streaming service isn't a bad idea. Now, the question is, how many people will be in the theater? One of you wrote me and said you went to see Mank, and it did very well. It was packed. But, of course, Mank is only in theaters right now and hasn't yet hit Netflix. So my question is, and we'll see, is what's going to happen when people have the choice the same day, starting the same day. Like, if you could see a movie in theaters or at home, what would you pick? I mean, also, I guess they have the subscription services. Lisa McPederson, it's Mank, and it's the David Fincher movie. Oh, Dylan's for theaters, but almost everyone overwhelmingly is home. Boy Without a Parachute, that's a funny name, says depends on the movie. I can see that. Dana O'Leary says blockbusters in theater, everything else at home. Well, that's kind of how we're currently going, right? I mean, I'm already paying for these streaming services. It would be difficult for me to say it should be worth paying to go to a theater. So I think it's an interesting situation. I think that if they did, I have to say, they have Netflix. I mean, the only time that I felt it was worth it is that I went to see The Irishman because Netflix made it a really special experience. They themed a Broadway theater. They transformed a Broadway theater into a movie theater. So it was very atmospheric. It was cool to go to a Broadway theater just to see a movie. They had like really cool giveaways. I mean, it made a big difference. If it's just a theater, I think movie theater audiences have become so poorly behaved. I would be reluctant to risk going to a movie and having someone on their phone or talking when I would know that at home I wouldn't have those disturbances. At least if they'd be from me. They wouldn't be from somebody else. So I think it's really interesting. I think this is more Cinemark just trying to stay alive during a difficult period. All right, so those are the 3 stories for the day. It's 4:57. You may ask me anything you would like until 5:07, and then I got to go cover this Ms. Marvel thing. Mika, I'm planning to review The Happiest season early next week. I do have the screener for it, but I haven't watched it yet. I'm not going to share my thoughts on the Ms. Marvel costume until I make my video, but I will just say that I'm glad I had a little bit of time to kind of calm down and distance myself from my initial reaction so I could make a fair video. Elizabeth, I will definitely watch the new Animaniacs. I can't wait. I watched the new Mickey cartoons yesterday. I thought they were okay. Madeline says, what's Bullet Train? Well, you might recall we talked about it beforehand. It's the Brad Pitt movie, which is based on, I believe, a Japanese book, and it's about a bunch of assassins caught on a bullet train together. That sounds pretty freaking good to me. And David Leitch, who co-directed the first Deadpool, and then went on to direct Atomic Blonde, Deadpool 2, and Hobbs & Shaw is the director. And he was also Brad Pitt's former stunt double, so they've come full circle. Kevin says, how late do you stay up? Last night I was up until 2 in the morning, 2:30 actually. I'm supposed to go to sleep late, but I'm very bad at early, but I'm very bad at it. It's tough. Ulysses, I do watch The Undoing. It's my Sunday night appointment viewing. I love it. I have 2 things that I must watch when they air. I must watch The Amazing Race on Wednesday nights, and I must watch The Undoing on Sundays right now. That's it. Dallas says, favorite flavor of popcorn. I like just regular popcorn, just with a little bit of butter on it. Keith, I haven't heard anything about Ezra. Let's see here. Chris says, would I enjoy The Crown if I don't care for the royal family? Oh, definitely. They vilify them like crazy on that show. It's really like, Dynasty or Dallas or any of those shows, Succession, where they talk about like a famous rich family and all the craziness they get up to. Only this one happens to be real, and it's extremely well done. Steven, I was talking about that at the beginning of the video. I did see the Lady Gaga reports, but I haven't seen it in any of the trades. Let's see if it's in there now. Still not in deadline. Let's see if the Hollywood Reporter has picked it up. That's a big story. You would think someone would confirm it immediately and put it in the trade. Nope, it's not there. Let's check Variety. The trade that time forgot. It's not in there either. Suspicious. see here. Thank you, Keith. I'm glad you like my sweater. I wasn't sure that this would look good, but I think it turned out pretty good. Things look different on camera than they do in real life. Let's see here. Dylan says, how are you going to do the best videos of 2020 this year? Are you still going to do a most anticipated of 2021? Heck yeah, and it's going to be so difficult because there are a billion movies coming out in 2021. It's going to be hard doing my end of year stuff. Some of it might be in early January because now I have Wonder Woman coverage to do smack in the middle of the Christmas New Year's corridor. Why do you do it to me, Hollywood? Why? ES says, do you think Black Widow will follow Wonder Woman 1984? It would look so losery if they did that. I think Disney's in a really difficult position in that now they're playing catch up. Usually they're the ones making the waves, but now Warner Brothers really got them with this. No matter how it goes for Warner Brothers, I don't know. I hope it's not Mulan 2.0, right, where everybody gets their embarrassing release. But I think that they're not going to move Black Widow until they see how Wonder Woman does, and they don't have to. They could move Black Widow for Valentine's Day. I mean, I don't think Black Widow is going to come out on Disney Plus during the holiday like Christmas New Year's season. I don't see that happening. I mean, it could, but I don't see it happening. Let's see here. Okay, Jeremiah Rivera says, how do you feel about Scream 5 being named just Scream? I wouldn't call it Scream 5. I'd probably call it Scream with like some subtitle, like Scream Returns or something like that. I think just calling it Scream makes you feel like, is it a replacement of the first Scream? I don't know how I feel about that. Portis 2, I don't know if I'm going to do a New Mutant spoiler review anymore. I'm really my schedule is getting pretty crazy, but I think I'm going to do something else X-Men related. Carlos says, do you think Soul will move? I don't think so. If anything, Soul will move up. But I think that is, that would be really bad. It's embarrassing to move. Let's see here. No Rainbow Nomad. It's like an evergreen X-Men video. I don't have any X-Men news. Who asked me about the Tenet? Portis 2. I'm not going to even bother Warner Brothers about a Tenet screener until after Thanksgiving. Sophian27 says, do you think there's a chance HBO Max releases the numbers if Wonder Woman... They will never release the viewing numbers, although now maybe Nielsen will find out a way to do it through their ratings. But I think that what you're going to look at is you're going to see they're going to release their subscriber numbers. That's the number that everyone's going to pay attention to. I don't think I'm going to review Run, Mika. Mika, you keep asking me these obscure things and I'm going to review them. Do you know how many reviews I have coming up? Like, my God, it's so hard, my videos are extremely edit heavy. Let's see here. I have, what reviews do I have coming up? So many reviews. Okay, Ma Rainey. I'm finally going to get to Mank. Happiest Season. Mosul. Let's see here. The Croods 2. Uncle Frank. And that's everything I have coming up in the next, 5 days. It's so many things to do. Let's see here. Oh, Dancing Dog 60. I'm glad you liked my Vanguard review. Chico says, who is my favorite of the Queen's 4 children? That's hilarious. I don't know. I think she messed up all of them, quite frankly. I guess Charles, because I think Josh O'Connor does such a good job in the role. 1 more minute. release, we will be doing a Wonder Woman 1984 watch-along party. It will be on December 26th. Let me put that in my notes just to be sure. 12/26, 1984 watch-along party. Let's see here. I have so many notes. It's a good thing it's a pandemic. I can't do as much Christmas stuff as usual, so sure I'll cover Wonder Woman. Okay, let's see here. Mika, I'll explain the ticket montage logistics closer to the date. There's no point in explaining them now. Let's see here. Daniel, we can't do a Christmas Eve watch along. Don't you want to be with your family and stuff? I gotta tell you, the fact that you want to spend Christmas Eve with me is just lovely. That means so much to me. I'm just blown away. Karsten says, please wait for a watch-along party until Wonder Woman 1984 can be watched internationally. Well, I gotta tell you, I find that if I don't do the watch-alongs right away, nobody shows up. So, I gotta say, I do think that, that's very sweet of you, Mandela Butterfly. I gotta tell you, oh, we have a new member? Who just joined? Hold on, I gotta give the shout out. I'm going back, I'm finding the new member. Sky Cruise. Oh, I love your avatar. Look at that great smile. Okay. But, what was I just talking about? Damn it! What was I just talking about? Oh yeah, Wonder Woman International. I can't believe that Warner Brothers has done this to you guys. I don't know how you're going to see this movie. Because it comes out like the 17th in many countries, but a lot of places, your movie theaters are closed. So I don't know how you're going to see the movie. So I don't understand why Warner Brothers would release a film that probably no one outside of the United States can see. I think it's a weird thing. So I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, Sky Cruise, you didn't throw me off. I'm so glad that you became a member. Cozy Feel says, it's okay, it's just Wonder Woman. I know some people who, and I gotta tell you, if you can't watch a movie when everybody else is watching it, it makes you bitter and upset. I've had that situation myself when it comes to screeners and, trying to get into a screening for like big blockbusters. It's like so stressful. And why would you do that to me, at least it's for work. But why would you put a fan through that? I mean, that seems pretty horrible to me. Oh, it's 5:09. You guys, it's so great. I love talking to you so much. All right, so I got to go work on this Ms. Marvel video. Oh, man, I don't want to fight with people. All right, so thank you so much. I had a lovely time talking to you. I hope to see you again. The next stream will be on next week is Thanksgiving. There will be no stream, obviously, on Thanksgiving, although I'm honored that some of you would show up for that stream. The streams next week will be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, so Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll have streams at around 4 o'clock. Bye, everybody. I love you guys. You're so great. Bye. Bye, everybody.